Well, be prepared to be mind blown. Joe Rogan's podcast is the perfect mix of everything: deep conversations, unexpected debates, and guests from all walks of life. But let's be honest, the most entertaining moments happen when conspiracy theories take center stage. Whether it's wild claims about ancient civilizations, government cover-ups, or mind-bending theories that make you question reality, Rogan knows how to keep the discussion going, and today, we're covering some of the most fascinating ones, and trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
What made you make the switch from like being a moon landing denier to like crazy if you don't
No, I don't think we're crazy. No, this is my take on it. Absolutely, I don't know enough about astrophysics, about space travel, about the science that's, the work that's been done, about how to get a rocket to the moon and back. I definitely don't know enough.
It's rocket science.
And I've looked at a lot of very compelling documentaries that explain why they think it was hoaxed. And they'll show you some footage, and you can look at some of the footage, and it looks fake as f***. There's some footage that, to me, looks really doctored. There's
to this day?
Yeah, to this day. Okay. There's some when you ever seen ones where it looks like they're on wires, like the astronauts are on wires?
I have.
There's some where there's a video where they look like they're on a trampoline. They're bouncing around on trampolines. Mm-hmm. The physics are different in different videos.
Well, this is arguably one of the most famous conspiracy theories out there, and NASA directly contributed to adding more fuel to the fire. You see, back in 2006, they admitted that no one could find the original video recordings of the moon landing, and 3 years later, they released a statement that read, quote, "The original recordings of the first humans landing on the moon 40 years ago were erased and reused, but newly restored copies of the original broadcast look even better," end quote. In another episode, Joe pointed out the exact things he finds weird about the footage, and he has a really good point.
And if you believe in NASA, bro, there's some videos of guys jumping around on the moon.
Yeah.
The problem with the videos of people on the moon is that there are videos that look 100% fake. Where guys fall forward and it looks like they get yanked up by wires. There's a lot of video that looks fake as f***. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if it just looks fake because it's 1/6 the Earth's gravity, and we don't know what that really looks like until you see it play out. But there's some videos of guys falling down face first and getting yanked back up. It looks like they're yanked by cords.
I would love you to think about this for just a second. If the entire thing was indeed fake, we could be, I guess, proud the US government has successfully run their biggest psyop in human history. Seriously, not only did they manage to convince the entire world it was real, but even foreign governments who had every reason to call it out. They just went along with it, and the biggest name on that list is none other than the Soviet Union at the time. And speak of the devil, Joe had a theory about Yuri Gagarin's trip around the world, and I need you to put on your tinfoil hats before we play this one.
What you're seeing in a lot of those moon videos looks like someone's defying physics. Like they pitch forward and they bounce back up. I think they shot a bunch of and I think some of the video, if you're going into space and you're experiencing deep radiation, the Van Allen radiation belts and from the sun, dude, you can't even go through the X-ray machine at the airport, the old X-ray machines with film. They wouldn't let you. Because if you went through with film, it would kill your film. So how are they getting these perfect videos and photos and none of them are by radiation? It's entirely possible that they did go to the moon, but they faked a bunch of the film footage because they wanted to have something and they couldn't really bring anything back. It's entirely possible. There's faked footage from the Russians, 100%. There's a precedent. The footage of Yuri Gagarin when he's circling the Earth for the first time, when he goes in a rocket and the first guy in space, it's fake as dude.
Really?
He's inside this tiny little compartment and all of a sudden they got room in there for a camera? Get the out of here.
Could you imagine that footage being fake as well? Honestly, I'd start questioning reality itself. We can't talk about the Soviet space program without the honorary mention of Laika, the first living creature to be launched into the Earth's orbit. The little dog made history, even if the story didn't have a happy ending at all. So drop a like to pay respect to my favorite space dog. Now shifting from space to ancient wonders, we've got Graham Hancock, the man who spent decades questioning the official narratives. He's here to explain just how mind-blowingly difficult it would be for modern humans to recreate the Great Pyramids of Giza.
The specific example I give is above the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid are 5 further chambers. And these chambers are roofed and floored with granite beams that weigh about 70 tons each. And there are hundreds of them. And these 70-ton granite beams, which to put in context, a 70-ton beam is equivalent in weight to 35 large SUVs. These 70-ton granite beams have been elevated to a height of more than 350 feet above the ground and carefully and precisely placed in position. It is very hard for archaeologists to explain how that was done using purely leverage and mechanical advantage. You can say, oh, perhaps they built a ramp and hauled the stones up the ramp. But then you have to confront basic laws of physics. You can't haul a stone weighing tens of tons up a slope that exceeds 10 degrees. Then you start doing the calculation. How long a ramp do I need with a 10-degree slope to get to 350 feet above the ground? And the answer is you need a long ramp.
Bingo, that is a major plot hole the producers didn't care to explain, and I mean that literally. To this day, we don't have any accurate historical or archaeological evidence that shows how these wonderful structures were really built. There are many logical explanations as to how it might have happened, but that makes it even more interesting in the fact that multiple pyramids exist all over the world, which is something Joe and Jimmy Corsetti talked about in another episode.
Video of yours that I watched today was a video that showed the similarities, not just between pyramids, but between construction methods all over the world. In Japan, I had no idea that they had made the sarcophagus covers in Japan that were exactly the same shape as the one, and oddly shaped, exactly the same as the ones they made in Egypt.
And in a place, there is supposed to be zero connection between ancient Japan and ancient Egypt. That's not supposed to exist. And if you compare that sarcophagus work, it's like it looks uncannily similar.
Impossible, almost impossible that two people would come up with the same design.
Right.
Because it's like coming up with, I don't know, I don't have a good, like if someone like this lighter, if someone this is an unusually shaped lighter, the way the top pops, if someone just coincidentally without any internet came up with this on the other side of the planet, you'd be like, how the it's so oddly shaped.
Exactly. It's not like humans were around during Pangea, watching as the continents shifted and thinking, all right, let's just move over to the next landmass and build these exact same wonders over time. That would be ridiculous, right? And yet, that's basically what we're looking at when you see similar architectural marvels all over the world, and there's no theory out there that really explains how these ancient civilizations on different continents somehow ended up with such similar designs and construction.
And the fact that these similar construction methods existed in Peru, they existed in Egypt, they existed in Japan, and we don't know how old stone is.
Right.
That's what's really wacky. When we talk about like carbon dating, they're not carbon dating stone.
No.
They really don't know. So even when they go back to ancient Egypt and they say, oh, we date the pyramids construction to 2500 BC, it's a guess.
That's what I think.
It's a guess.
It really is.
There is actually another conspiracy theory that also supports what Joe is saying, which speculates that the ancient Egyptians arrived in that region around 5000 BC, and the Sphinx along with the pyramids were already constructed. They add that the Sphinx actually had the head of a lion and Emperor Khafra ordered his face to be put on it. But hey, this is a bottomless rabbit hole and we might actually never know how or why it happened, but I'd love to know which one of these was your favorite, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to enjoy this video as well, please share it with them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.